Not agreed to.
Madam President.
The Majority Whip.
Madam President, after many weeks of uncertainty and distress, millions of Americans can, for now, let go of the fear of losing their homes and the roofs over their head. Last night, the Biden administration announced a new 60-day federal eviction moratorium. I certainly support that decision. I want to thank all those who insisted that we do something, especially U.S. Congresswoman Cori Bush of Missouri, who knows the trauma personally of being without a home, having been a victim of eviction in her life. Representative Bush camped outside on the Capitol steps for 5 nights. She slept on the steps of this building so that some of the most vulnerable people in America would be able to sleep with a roof over their heads while we were making sure that the law caught up with our intentions. The emergency assistance will help pay, I also want to thank my fellow Democratic senators, especially Senators Sherrod Brown and Elizabeth Warren, who pushed for a fair and just solution to what would have been an entirely preventable tragedy for families who've already lost so much in this pandemic. So many as 11 million Americans have fallen behind on their rent during this pandemic because of job losses and other misfortunes. Let me tell you about one of them, Patricia Vasquez. Madam President, I ask order on the floor.
Please take your conversations outside.
Patricia Vasquez is a single mom of 2 boys. She lives in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. She told her story to the Chicago Sun-Times. By the time Patricia Vasquez received an email on July 23rd telling her that she qualified for help from Chicago's Emergency Rental Assistance Program, the gas to her apartment had already been cut off because of a $1,400 unpaid bill. She had sold some of her clothes and jewelry to pay the electric bill to keep the lights on, and she was 6 months behind in rent. The emergency assistance will help pay her overdue rent and utility bills. The federal eviction moratorium will enable tenants like Patricia to avoid the traumas of eviction and homelessness while they wait for the emergency assistance to reach them. Between the bipartisan CARES Act that Congress passed in December and President Biden's American Rescue Plan, Congress has provided state and local governments more than $46 billion in emergency rental assistance to help families pay their landlords. Unfortunately, many states and localities have been slower than expected in getting that money to the people who need it. So far, only $3 billion of the $46 billion has reached tenants and landlords. To punish renters who've already lost so much for delays over which they have no control, and to evict them with the Delta variant tearing the country apart would be unfair, unconscionable, and in many cases, deleterious to public health. It would harm our efforts to bring this virus under control for good. Fortunately, in recent weeks, many cities and states have made progress in getting to help out to the people who need it. That includes the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. The CDC's new eviction moratorium is only a first step. It is imperative that all state and local governments step up their efforts to get federal relief to the families who need it, and the landlords as well. This pandemic has caused enough pain. Red tape can't be allowed to deepen that pain for anyone. Madam President, I'd like to address another issue that comes up on the floor quite regularly, usually from speeches on the other side of the aisle. And I heard one of my colleagues in the Senate on the Republican side, who is a personal friend, talk about it today, and he's not the only one. And it's, of course, the issue of immigration. I've been involved in this issue for a long time.